The screens illustrated in this section are for a standard 4-gas unit. The screens displayed by your Eagle 2 may be slightly different. Connect the sample hose or probe to the Eagle 2's Quick Connect inlet fitting. If using a sample hose, connect the probe to the sample hose's Quick Connect fitting. Press and briefly hold down the Power Enter Reset button. The LCD will show this screen for about 10 seconds. The battery voltage screen appears for a few seconds. The active gases screen appears for a few seconds, indicating which channels are active and their target gases. If lunch break is turned on, the resume management screen appears. The unit counts down from 5 seconds in the lower right corner of the LCD to the right of measurements. The gas alarm set points are displayed by 3 screens in sequence: the low alarm screen, high alarm screen, and stale TWA alarm screen. Each screen remains on the LCD for 3 seconds. After the alarm screens, if Cal Reminder is turned on, the screen that appears next depends on how Cal Past Due Act is set in the Setup Mode menu. If the unit is due for calibration and Cal Past Due Act is set to Confirm to Cal, then the following screen displays and the buzzer sounds in a double pulsing pattern. If the unit is due for calibration and Cal Past Due Act is set to Must Calibrate, then the following screen displays and the buzzer sounds in a double pulsing pattern. If the unit is due for calibration and Cal Past Due Act is set to Notification Only, then the following alert screen displays and the buzzer sounds in a double pulsing pattern. The Date Time screen appears for a few seconds. If User Station ID is turned on, the ID screen appears for a few seconds. If User Station ID is turned off, only the serial number is shown. If the Eagle 2 experiences a sensor failure during startup, a screen indicating which sensor failed appears and the buzzer sounds a pulsing tone twice per second. In this example, the H2S sensor has failed. If you wish to continue, press and release the Power Enter Reset button to acknowledge the failure. The gas reading for the failed sensor will be replaced by XXX. Replace the sensor as soon as possible. The Eagle 2 is now monitoring for gas in measuring mode. The normal operation screen appears, displaying the current gas reading for each target gas. Before using the Eagle 2, it is recommended to set the fresh air readings for the target gases by performing a demand 0. This will set the methane, hydrogen sulfide, and carbon monoxide channels to 0 and the oxygen channel to 20.9%. Find a fresh air environment. This is an environment free of toxic or combustible gases and of normal oxygen content, 20.9%. Next, turn the unit on. Press and hold the Air Yes button. The LCD prompts you to continue holding the Air Yes button, and the buzzer will pulse while you hold the button. Continue to hold the Air Yes button until the LCD prompts you to release it. The Eagle 2 will set the fresh air reading for all channels. Startup is complete and the unit is now ready for monitoring. Press and hold the Power Enter Reset button. The buzzer will pulse for about 5 seconds. Release the button when Goodbye and the RKI logo appear on the display. When Goodbye and the logo disappear and the backlight turns off, the unit is off. When the Eagle 2 completes its startup sequence, it is in measuring mode. In measuring mode, the Eagle 2 continuously monitors the sampled atmosphere and displays the gas concentrations present for its target gases. In a low light environment, press and release any button to turn on the display backlight. Start up the Eagle 2 as described previously. Take the Eagle 2 to the monitoring area. Wait 10 to 15 seconds and observe the display for gas readings. If a reading is observed, allow the reading to stabilize to determine the gas concentrations present. Please note, response time increases with the length of the sample hose. Long sample hoses will require more time to show a response at the Eagle 2. The maximum sample hose length recommended for the Eagle 2 is 125 feet. The standard sample hose for the Eagle 2 is 5 feet long. Optional hoses are available up to 125 feet. If you are considering using a longer hose, keep in mind that a longer hose will increase the Eagle 2's response time and the flow rate may decrease close to the low flow alarm point. The Eagle 2's exhaust fitting has a female 1032 thread to allow for the installation of a hose barb fitting with a male 1032 thread to which a flexible exhaust tube can be connected. If you utilize this feature, the tubing used must have a minimum internal diameter of 1/8 inch. RKI recommends using flexible polyurethane tubing with a maximum exhaust tube length of 20 feet. There are 3 issues to keep in mind when monitoring for combustible gas. The catalytic combustible sensor will respond to any combustible gas. The standard calibration gas for the Eagle 2 catalytic combustible channel is methane. If the instrument is calibrated to a different combustible gas, such as hexane or propane, the gas name for the catalytic combustible channel should reflect the target gas. The Eagle 2 provides the catalytic combustible sensor with some protection against exposure to high levels of combustible gas, which can damage the sensor. It does this by turning off the combustible sensor power temporarily when it determines that an overscale concentration of combustible gas is present that may damage the sensor. Nevertheless, concentrations of combustible gas of more than 100% LAL can still affect the zero level or calibration of the combustible sensor if the concentration is high enough. Do not expose the catalytic combustible sensor to high concentrations of combustible gas, such as that from a butane lighter. Exposure to high concentrations of combustible gas may adversely affect the performance of the sensor. Any rapid increase in the combustible gas reading on the catalytic combustible channel, followed by a declining or erratic reading, may indicate a gas concentration above the LAL, which may be hazardous. Some gases, such as silicon vapors, chlorinated hydrocarbons, and sulfur compounds can contaminate the detection elements inside the combustible sensor, damaging the sensor and resulting in reduced response to combustible gas. Make every effort to avoid these gases. The catalytic combustible sensor has an integral H2S scrubber for protection from H2S exposure resulting from normal use, but you should avoid exposure to high levels of H2S and other sulfur compounds. This section covers alarm indications in measuring mode. It also describes how to reset the Eagle 2 after an alarm has occurred and how to respond to an alarm condition. False alarms may be caused by radio frequency or electromagnetic interference. Keep the Eagle 2 away from RF and EMI sources such as radio transmitters or large motors. The Eagle 2 will sound an alarm and flash the LED arrays when one of the target gas concentrations rises above the low alarm level, or in the case of oxygen, falls below the low alarm level. The Eagle 2 also sounds an alarm and flashes the LED arrays when one of the target gas concentrations rises above the high alarm level and when the STEL and TWA alarm levels are reached for carbon monoxide and hydrogen sulfide. When a failure condition occurs, such as a sensor failure, low flow, or dead battery condition, the unit will also sound an alarm and flash the LED arrays. You can set the Eagle 2's gas alarms as latching or self-resetting. Self-resetting alarms automatically shut off and reset when the gas reading falls below the alarm setting. You cannot reset self-resetting alarms with the power enter reset button. You can set self-resetting alarms with or without the alarm silence feature. Latching alarms will remain in effect until the gas reading falls below the alarm setting and they are reset with the power enter reset button. You can set latching alarms with or without the alarm silence feature. Alarm silence set to on and alarm latching set to latching are the factory settings. When the Eagle 2 goes into gas alarm, press and release the power enter reset button to silence the buzzer. If the gas concentration was still above the alarm level when the button was pressed, the LED array continues to flash and the Eagle 2 continues to display the current alarm level. The gas reading must fall below an alarm setting before you can reset the alarm. When the alarm condition passes, press and release the power enter reset button to reset the alarm. The LED arrays turn off and the Eagle 2 alarm indications on the display turn off. The gas reading must fall below an alarm setting before you can reset the alarm. When the alarm condition passes, press and release the power enter reset button to reset the alarm. The LED arrays and buzzer turn off and the Eagle 2 alarm indications on the display turn off. When the Eagle 2 goes into gas alarm, press and release the power enter reset button to silence the buzzer. The power enter reset button will not reset the alarm. When the gas reading falls below an alarm set point, the alarm will automatically reset. The LED arrays turn off and the Eagle 2 alarm indications on the display turn off. When the Eagle 2 goes into gas alarm, the power enter reset button will not silence or reset the alarm. When the gas reading falls below an alarm set point, the alarm will automatically reset. The LED arrays and buzzer turn off, and the Eagle 2 alarm indications on the display turn off. When responding to gas alarms, determine which gas alarm has been activated. Follow your established procedure for an increasing gas condition or a decreasing oxygen condition. If necessary, reset the alarm using the power enter reset button once the alarm condition is passed. An overrange condition may indicate an extreme combustible gas, toxic gas, or oxygen concentration. Confirm a normal condition with a different Eagle 2 or with another gas detecting device. Determine which channel is an alarm. Follow your established procedure for an extreme gas condition. Reset the alarm using the power enter reset button once the alarm condition is cleared. Calibrate the Eagle 2. If the overrange condition continues, or if you are not able to successfully calibrate the unit, you may need to replace the sensor that has triggered the overrange alarm. If the overrange condition continues after you have replaced the sensor, contact RKI Instruments for further instructions. The Eagle 2 is not operational as a gas monitoring device during a dead battery alarm. The Eagle 2 is fully functional during a low battery warning. However, only a limited amount of operating time remains, approximately 1 to 2 hours. The amount of time depends on how often the LCD backlight is used and how often the unit is responding to alarm conditions. Take the Eagle 2 to a non-hazardous area and replace or recharge the batteries as described later in this video. Determine which sensor has triggered the sensor failure alarm. Try calibrating the sensor first, as described in the calibration section of this video before replacing it. If the sensor failure continues, replace the sensor. If the sensor failure condition continues after you have replaced the sensor, contact RKI Instruments for further instructions. To enter the display mode and to scroll from one screen to the next or skip an item when a question is asked, press and release the Display Adjust No button. To enter an item when a question is asked, press and release the Yes button. To change a flashing parameter, use either the Yes button or Range Shift button. Each screen displays for 20 seconds. If you do not press a button within 20 seconds, the Eagle 2 automatically returns to measuring mode. The peak screen displays the highest concentrations detected since the Eagle 2 was turned on. Peak readings are stored in the Eagle 2's memory until a higher level is detected, the peak reading is cleared, or the Eagle 2 is turned off. The lunch break feature preserves peak readings when the Eagle 2 is turned off. To clear the peak reading with the peak screen displayed, press and release the Power Enter Reset button. The Clear Peak Readings screen will appear. Press and release the ARES button. The peak readings will be reset and the unit will return to the peak screen. If you do not want to clear the peak readings, press and release the Display Adjust No button and the unit will return to the peak screen without clearing the peak readings. The battery voltage screen displays the minimum operating voltage and the current battery voltage. Fully charged alkaline batteries typically indicate 6 volts. Fully charged nickel metal hydride batteries typically indicate 5.2 volts. This screen also displays during the startup sequence. The gas display screen gives you the option to select how the active channels are displayed. You can display all of them on the screen at the same time, one at a time with automatic scrolling, or one at a time with manual scrolling. The factory setting displays all of the active channels at the same time. To select how to display the active channels with the gas display screen displayed, press and release the ARES button. The following screen will appear with the cursor blinking. Use the ARES and range shift buttons to place the cursor next to the desired choice. Press and release the Power Enter Reset button. The unit will continue to the STEL screen and the display configuration will reflect your choice when you return to measuring mode. The Methane Elimination Mode screen displays only if the catalytic combustible channel is set up for one of the gases in the Configure Gases menu in setup mode that supports methane elimination. The default setup for methane does not allow methane elimination. When applicable, use this screen to enable and disable the methane elimination feature. With the Methane Elimination Mode screen displayed, press and release the ARES or range shift button to toggle to the desired setting, enabled or disabled. Press and release the Power Enter Reset button. The unit will save the setting and proceed to the next menu item. This screen displays only if relative response in setup mode is set to on. Use this screen to temporarily change the gas configuration of the catalytic combustible channel. You can select from a list of gases whose response relative to the configured gas, normally methane, is programmed into the Eagle 2's memory. The relative response feature enables you to temporarily monitor for the selected gas without having to recalibrate the Eagle 2. The Eagle 2 will clear the gas configuration change when it is turned off and will return to the programmed configuration when it is turned on again. With a relative response screen displayed, press and release the ARES button. A list of gases will appear on the screen with exit at the top of the list. There are multiple screens of gases. Use the ARES or range shift buttons to move the cursor next to the desired gas. Press and release Power Enter Reset. The catalytic combustible channel will be configured to the selected gas, and the Eagle 2 will proceed to the STEL screen. This configuration will be in force until either a different gas is selected in display mode or the unit is turned off. The STEL screen displays the short-term exposure limit readings for hydrogen sulfide and carbon monoxide only. The STEL reading is the average reading over the last 15 minutes. The TWA screen displays the time-weighted average readings for hydrogen sulfide and carbon monoxide only. The TWA reading is the average reading over the last 8 hours. If 8 hours have not elapsed since the last time the TWA reading was cleared, the average is still calculated over 8 hours. The missing time is assigned a 0 value for readings. If the lunch break feature is turned off, the TWA is cleared when the Eagle 2 is turned off. The lunch break feature enables the Eagle 2 to remember TWA readings when it is turned off, so it can continue them when it is turned on again. The View Alarm Settings screen gives you the option to view the gas alarm settings for all active channels. To view the gas alarm settings with the View Alarm Settings screen displayed, press and release the ARES button. The following screen appears showing Channel 1 alarm points. If the channel description is too long to fit across the screen, press and release the Power Enter Reset button to view the remainder of the displayed channel description. Press and release the Power Enter Reset button again to return to the previous screen. If the number of alarm settings is too many to display on one screen, a down arrow will appear in the lower right corner of the display, indicating that there are additional alarm points. Press and release the Range Shift button to scroll down and display the remainder of the gas alarm settings for the displayed channel, and again to return to the previous screen. Press and release the Air Yes button to scroll through screens that display the rest of the active channel's alarm settings. This screen displays only if User Station ID in the Setup Mode menu is set to On. Use this screen to select a user ID from the user ID list. The current user ID is displayed. A user ID can be up to 16 characters long, and 32 user IDs can be stored. The user ID list cannot be edited from the Eagle 2, but is instead controlled through the Eagle 2 Maintenance Data Loader program. To select a different user ID with a Select User ID screen displayed, press and release the Air Yes button. A screen appears that includes the current user ID, which is indicated by the cursor next to it. The user IDs are displayed in groups of 6, and the list does not wrap around. Use the Air Yes and Range Shift buttons to move the cursor up and down the screen and scroll through the available user IDs to find the desired user ID. When the desired user ID is displayed, place the cursor next to it. Press and release the Power Enter Reset button. This screen displays only if User Station ID in the Setup Mode menu is set to On. Use this screen to select a station ID from the Station ID list in the Eagle 2's memory. The current station ID is displayed. A station ID can be up to 16 characters long, and the Eagle 2 can store up to 128 station IDs. The corresponding station ID number identifies the current station ID's place in the Eagle 2's list. This list cannot be edited through the Eagle 2 and must instead be edited through the Eagle 2 Maintenance Data Loader program. To select a different station ID with the Select User ID screen displayed, press and release the Air Yes button. A screen appears that includes the current station ID, which is indicated by the cursor next to it. Use the Air Yes and Range Shift buttons to move the cursor up and down the screen and scroll through the available user IDs to find the desired user ID. When the desired user ID is displayed, place the cursor next to it and press and release the Power Enter Reset button. The Time in Operation screen displays the length of time that the unit has been on. The time in operation is reset when the unit is turned off. Enabling the lunch break feature resets the time in operation only if you choose not to resume the previous peak and TWA readings when you turn the machine back on. The Date Time screen displays the current date and time. The data logging screen displays the time remaining until the data logger memory is full and asks if you want to clear the data logger memory. To clear the data logger memory with the data logging screen displayed, press and release the Air Yes button. The following screen appears asking you to confirm if you want to clear the data logger memory. If you do not want to clear the data logger memory at this point, press and release the Display Adjust No button and the unit will return to measuring mode. To clear the data logger memory, press and release the Air Yes button. The following screen appears asking you to reconfirm that you want to clear the data logger memory. If you want to clear the data logger memory, press and release the Air Yes button. The unit will display a Please Wait screen as it clears the data. The periods below Please Wait will disappear one at a time from right to left as the data is cleared. When the last period disappears, the unit is finished clearing the data and will display the following screen for a few seconds, then return to measuring mode. The Eagle 2 only logs data while in normal mode. If the Eagle 2 is used in leak check mode or bar hole mode, no downloadable data will be logged. The Eagle 2 features the ability to log data to its internal memory and download it to a computer via the infrared communications port on the front of the unit. It logs gas readings during normal operation, alarm data, and calibration data. To utilize the Eagle 2's downloading capability, you will need the Eagle 2 Data Logger Management Program and a computer with an infrared port or a USB port that runs on a Windows operating system. If your computer has an infrared port, then no additional accessories are needed to download data from the Eagle 2. If your computer does not have an infrared port but does have a USB port, a USB IRDA adapter cable can be used to download data from the Eagle 2 using the USB port. The Eagle 2 Data Logger Management Program is available from RKI Instruments. The adapter cable is also available from RKI or may be purchased at a computer or electronics supply store. For a complete description of the Data Logger Management Program and procedures for downloading data to a computer, see the Eagle 2 Data Logger Management Program Operator's Manual.